Good morning everyone. Myself Bhumi Jain, a CA finalist student pursuing my articles from JC Sir and Company. I belong from Gwalior, which is in MP. Today we are going to discuss on TDS under GST in this video. Many of us know about what is TDS under Income Tax Act and what is GST. But what is TDS under GST? Did we all know or not? So, to give a reference or brief reference on the topic TDS under GST, let's start with the video. We are going to cover what is the provision regarding TDS under GST and when it is applicable, at what rate it is applicable, and can we claim the deducted amount under TDS under GST or not. What are the statutory components? So let's continue with the introduction. What is the main motive of government to bring this TDS under GST into force? Why they bring this act? First of all, the question is this: the main motive of government to bring this act TDS under GST into force is to collect tax only at the time of payment made to the supplier of goods and services, to prevent from tax evasion and to ensure a continuous flow of economic to the government. What is the provision regarding TDS under GST? When it come into force and under which section? TDS under GST come into force from 1st of October 2018 under section number 51. Now, who all are the persons who are required to deduct the TDS under GST? TDS under GST, government has specified following persons who all are required to deduct TDS under GST. They are a government or establishment of government agencies, local authority and government agencies, and notified category of persons under section number 51, subsection 1, clause T. Now, who all are the persons who are notified under section 51, clause 1, subsection 1, clause T? They are an authority or a board of any other body set up by an act of parliament or establishment by any government with 51% or more holding, either through by voting power or through our decision making power. And the second one is society established by the central government or local authority and public sector undertaking. In short, we can say that all the government agencies required to deduct the TDS under GST. Now, when TDS need to be deducted, at what value it is need to be deducted. Section number 51 clearly specified that TDS need to be deducted on the contract value exceeding rupees 2.5 million. For example, if we consider an example, the contract value is of rupees 5 lakh, but the individual invoice value is of rupees 1,50,000 or 1 lakh like this. So what would be your answer regarding this? Should we have to deduct TDS or not? The section is clearly specified that section number 51 clearly specified that we need to deduct TDS on the contract value, not on the individual invoice value. So the answer is yes, we need to deduct TDS under GST on the whole value of rupees 5 lakh. Now, at what rate we need to deduct the TDS under GST? What is the rate and on what value? TDS under GST required to be deducted at the rate of 1% SGST and 1% CGST in case of interstate supply, but 2% IGST in the case of interstate supply on the whole value. Now, what are the statutory compliances regarding TDS under GST? First, registration. Whether the person need to take a separate registration to deduct TDS under GST or not, or the registration taken under GST Act will be applicable, the registration GST number will applicable under this also. The answer is person need to take a separate registration under TDS under GST under section number 24 to deduct the TDS under GST. There is no threshold limit, like in GST there is a threshold limit of 10 lakh, 20 lakh or 40 lakh as the case may be. But under TDS under GST there is no threshold limit to take a registration. person need to take a compulsory registration under section number 24 if he is required to deduct a TDS. Now, second point is deposit of a TDS on GST. Once a TDS amount is deducted, then up to which time it should be deposited to the government, in what form, and what is the criteria for that. Once a TDS amount is deducted, it should be deposited with the government up to the 10th of the next month in the form of GSTR 7A. For example, if we deduct the amount to the TDS amount in the month of June, then we have to deposit a total amount up to the 10th of next July to the government in the form of GSTR, in the form number GSTR 7. If we fail to deposit the amount to the government, then there is a late filing fees of ₹100 per day in the CGST and 100 per day SGST. That is maximum of ₹200 per day. But the late filing fees cannot exceed ₹5,000. Along with late filing fees, there is an interest at the rate of 18% from the due date, starting from the due date of payment to the government, from the actual payment made to the government. That is, we will continue our example. In the month of June, we deduct TDS, but till 10th of July, we have not deposited the amount with the government. From 11th of July, we are required to deduct. We are required to pay interest at the rate 18% on the value on the amount we are required to deduct TDS, and along with late filing fees. Now, TDS certificate. TDS certificate would also require to be issued by the deductor to the deductee in the form GSTR 7A within 5 days of the payment made to the government. That is, in simple words, we can say that till 15th of next month, we need to issue our TDS certificate to the deductee in respect of the amount deducted. And there is no compulsion. As we all know, if we take a GST registration, then we need to file a GST form return, whether it is nil rate return or the taxable amount return. But under TDS, there is no compulsion to file a nil TDS return. Like in GST, we need to file. In TDS, there is no compulsion to file a nil rate return. Tax season. Every section has some exception. This section also contains some exemption, which I mean to say that in the following conditions we are not going to deduct TDS under GST under section number 51. Now, what are these conditions? If the total value of supply does not exceed 2.5 lakh or up to 2.5 lakh, we don't need to deduct TDS. If the value exceeds ₹1 of above 2.5 lakh, then the TDS applicability will be there. And second point, if the contract value is of total value of ₹5 lakh, but in this exempted supply value of ₹3 lakh and the taxable supply value is of ₹2 lakh, then whether TDS is required to be deducted or not, or if TDS is required to be deducted, then on what value it required to be deducted? Then the simple answer is this. The section number 51 clearly stated that on the taxable supply value, TDS required to be deducted. So in this example, since the total value is of ₹5 lakh, but exempted supply value is 3 lakh and taxable supply value is 2 lakh, then no need to deduct a TDS. If we opposite the scenario case, if the exempted supply value is ₹2 lakh and taxable supply value is ₹3 lakh, then TDS need to be deducted on the whole value of ₹3 lakh, not 5 lakh, on the value of ₹3 lakh only. Now, and the third point, receipt of goods and services which are exempted. Since the goods and services are exempted under GST, then there is no need to deduct TDS as goods and services are exempted. Goods on which GST is not leviable. Similar to the above point, in the above point, the goods and services are exempted. In this point, since GST is not leviable on the goods and services, so TDS will not be applicable. Where the location of next one, where the location of the supply and place of supply is in a state which is different from the state where the recipient is registered. We will discuss in this video later on this point. All activities or transactions specified in Schedule 3 of the GST Act. Now, what is Schedule 3 of the GST Act? Schedule 3 is Schedule 3 means to say the transaction and activities which are not treated as supply. Since the transactions and activities are not treated as supply, so obviously there is no requirement to deduct the TDS. Where the payment relates to a tax invoice that has been issued before 1st October 2018. Since the Act come into force on 1st October 2018, then any payment related to the invoice issued before 1st October 2018 need not require to deduct the TDS. Where the tax is to be paid on reverse charge by the recipient, that is deducted. Since the reverse charge is applicability, then there is no required to deduct the TDS. Where the payment is made to an unregistered supplier, and the next point where the payment is made on the cess component. Now, what is the practical difficulty we are going to face in our filings of TDS return? As you all can see on the slide, on the PPT, the slide, there is I take a different scenario in which TDS applicability is there or not. Different things. As you all can see, the location of supply and location of supply, from where supply has been made, from where supply has made, place of supply, from where it is made, and place of recipient, where the recipient of goods and services has been registered. In the first point, as you all can see, recipient of supply is from Mumbai, and place of supply is also in Mumbai. This simply attracts SGST and CGST at the rate of 1% and 1% TDS amount will be deducted, and since recipient is also registered under Mumbai, so he can claim the ITC. In the second case, since location where the supply has been made is Mumbai, but from where it is made is MP, which attracts interstate supply, and simply IGST will be deducted at a rate of 2%. And the recipient of supply is also registered under Mumbai, which simply attracts IGST, and he can claim the IGST amount at a rate of 2%. In the third point, place and location of supply, where the supply has been made is in Mumbai, and from where it is made is MP, which attracts IGST. But the recipient is also registered under different state as comparison to from where the supply has been made, which simply attracts interstate supply, and as TDS at a rate of 2% will be deducted and can be claimed by the recipient. But as you all can see, in the first three case scenario, TDS will be deducted as the applicability 1% of 1% CGST, 1% SGST, or 2% IGST. But in the fourth point, as you all can see, TDS not required to be deducted. Why? And what is the scenario in this? Why TDS is not required to be deducted? As you all can see on the PPT, location of supply is Mumbai, means where the supply is, from where it is made is Mumbai, and place of supply, from where it is made is also Mumbai, means transactions takes in Mumbai only, which is an intra-state supply, and which attracts SGST and CGST simply at the rate of 1%. But the main twist coming to this is the place of recipient, where the recipient of supply is registered. He is registered under Gujarat, which attracts IGST as comparison from where the place of supply has been made. But on invoice value, we will deduct CGST and SGST. But when we claim the amount of deducted TDS, the government on the portal, it will not be valid, because our registration number is of Gujarat, that is 24, but from where it is made is Mumbai, that is 27 number will be applicable. So IGST applicability will be there, but we deduct CGST and SGST, which is not possible to claim the ITC. So in this case, TDS applicability will not, TDS is not applicable to deduct. This is the only case in which TDS is not applicable on the transaction. Now, what is the role in accounting and auditing? The simple accounting and auditing we will understand with an example. What is the example? As you all can see on the slide, CA expert and the ABC government entity come enter into a professional service contract of value of ₹10, on which GST rate is 18%, and let us consider it as an interstate supply. Now, what is the taxable value? 10. And IGST will be deducted at the rate of 18%, that is 1,80,000. Now, the invoice value will be 11,80,000. Now, the question comes into mind, on what value TDS under GST will be deducted? If the TDS under GST is deducted, then there is requirement to deduct TDS under income tax or not? Or shall we required to deduct only TDS under GST or only TDS under income tax act, or both, or on what value we need to deduct? So, as section number 51 clearly states that TDS under GST would be required to deduct on the taxable value, that is of ₹10 lakh, at the rate of 2%, that is 20,000. Now, since TDS under GST is deducted, there is requirement to deduct TDS under income tax act or not? The answer is yes. We need to require to deduct TDS under income tax act. But on what value? The question may arise. On what value we need to deduct? The answer is we need to deduct TDS under income tax on the value, on the taxable value itself. That is 10 lakh rupees. 10 lakh rupees. The TDS under income tax act will be deducted at the rate of 10% of 10 lakh rupees. That is 1 lakh rupees. Now, the amount of payment. What will be the amount of payment after deduction of TDS under GST and TDS under income tax? That will be 10,60,000. After deduction of the amount that is deducted under section number 51, that is TDS under GST and TDS under income tax act. So, can we claim the GST or not? The amount deducted by the deductor, can we claim the amount deducted or not? And from where can we claim? How should we claim it? And if there is any excess amount deducted, can we claim the refund of it or not? We are going to discuss it. Yes, the answer is yes. We can claim the GST amount that deducted under section number 51 for subsection 5 in the return of the deducted, section number 51 subsection 5. Now, to claim it, first and the most important thing, we need to accept the TDS and the TCS credit from the supplier, from after login from GST number of the supplier, and we need to accept TDS and TCS credit. Then only we can claim the amount. We cannot claim the amount on the basis of the certificate issued by the director. We cannot claim on the basis of that, unless and until we cannot accept on the portal itself TDS and TCS credit. So, what is if there is refund or credit note? What will be the conditions to conclude that? If there is any refund amount, we can refund, but if the amount is in electronic credit ledger, then only we can refund. After a moment it pass on to the electronic cash ledger, then we cannot claim the refunded amount, excess amount that is deducted. And we can also claim the credit. If there is any credit note or debit note, we can show in our next month GST returns. So, yes. at last, I want to thank you, my principal, C.A. Jigen sir, for giving me such an opportunity to represent myself and improve on my soft skills. This is not an expert video. This video is only for information regarding TDS and the GST. So we will meet in our next video with a new topic and with a new